Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we unpack complex ideas to give you that clear, informed perspective.
Cutting through the noise.
Exactly, trying to deliver those moments of, true insight. In a world just saturated with information, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed.
It really is.
But that's why we're here, right? To give you a genuine shortcut to being deeply well-informed. Maybe some surprising facts, a little humor, keep you hooked.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're diving into a concept that might really shift how you view leadership, especially in, well, this incredibly fast-paced world we're in. Let's unpack this.
Indeed. And our deep dive today, it takes us into some really profound insights on inner leadership.
Inner leadership, okay.
Yeah, specifically drawing from Lóng Tíng's work, his Global Leadership Insights 2030 mini-series, Inner Leadership. It's less of a theoretical textbook
Right.
and more of a practical study companion, really designed for deep personal and organizational change.
Transformation, yeah.
And we'll also touch on his reflections from A Legacy of Presence. These aren't just academic papers, they're really guides. Guides for cultivating a different kind of leadership.
So what's the mission today? What are we aiming for?
Well, the mission is really to move beyond the usual metrics of success. The things our society tends to glorify.
The achievements, the numbers.
Exactly. We're going to explore something deeper, often overlooked, and frankly more fundamental. It's this idea of leadership presence.
Presence. Oh.
And the core question we're grappling with is how can we truly understand and then actually embody authentic leadership, especially in a world that seems so intensely fixated on external achievement?
That's a huge question.
It is. And this isn't just theory. It's incredibly relevant if you're navigating modern work, modern life.
Yeah.
We want you to gain knowledge quickly, yes, but also thoroughly.
Get those aha moments.
Right? Those insights without the usual information overload. It's about understanding a really crucial leadership topic on a much deeper level, sparking those moments that genuinely reframe how you see things. Hashtag the quiet power of presence beyond achievement.
And Lóng Tíng, he starts right away with this really intriguing, almost poetic observation. It definitely grabs your attention, sets a different tone.
What does he say?
He says, "There's a certain kind of silence that appears after courage has done its quiet work. Not the silence of exhaustion, but the silence of something true."
Something true.
It really makes you pause, doesn't it? It
Yeah.
suggests this profound quietness, a state miles away from the usual noise around achievement.
Yeah, and what's fascinating there is how it immediately shifts our focus, away from all the external striving,
Right.
towards an internal state of being. Lóng Tíng describes this silence as a space where there is nothing left to justify, nothing left to chase, only the simple fact of being fully here.
Wow. Nothing left to justify.
And this deep internal stillness, this is positioned as the ultimate destination of the study companion's journey, which is pretty remarkable when you think about it.
It really is, because normally completion or success means what? A big celebration? Fanfare. Moving straight on to the next thing.
Precisely. Think about how we celebrate the applause, the emails, the immediate planning meeting for the next win. It's usually noisy.
Yeah, lots of noise.
But here, the culmination is this quiet, internal stillness. It's not about having achieved something out there. It's about reaching a state of profound inner peace, settledness. It really challenges that whole idea that success always ends with a bang.
Or even a whimper of exhaustion.
Exactly. He specifically says not the silence of exhaustion. This suggests it's not about depletion, but about a kind of deep integration, something being resolved internally.
That's a really powerful distinction, because in our world, it's always go, 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 move to the next item, the next project, the next target. We celebrate the sprint, the hustle.
Always on.
Always on. But this truthful silence he describes, it contrasts so sharply, it implies a kind of arrival, a settling. Think about that feeling after a huge project deadline. You're just wiped out, right? Mentally, physically drained. That's one kind of silence.
The silence of depletion.
Right. But this other silence, the one that comes after courage, it feels different, like fullness, not emptiness. Quiet strength not being spent.
That's a great way to put it.
And what does it really mean to reach a state where there's nothing left to justify? Because that feels almost counterintuitive. We're always trying to prove something, aren't we? To ourselves, to others, justifying our efforts.
Well, I think it is a liberation because it points to an internal validation, a sense that you acted from a place of authenticity, of integrity.
Okay.
When you've done what felt true, what felt courageous, maybe you don't need to defend it afterwards or explain it away or chase that external applause.
The quiet work suggests it's an internal process.
Exactly, often unseen, leading to this state of just being here. And this kind of present, this being fully here, it's like an antidote to that endless external validation loop so many leaders get caught in.
I can see that.
It allows for a deeper integration of the experience. The act itself, driven by courage, by truth, becomes its own reward. The result isn't a trophy, but this profound inner peace.
Which must be incredibly impactful for leadership, right? Where the
Yeah.
pressure to justify every single thing to show results constantly is immense.
Absolutely. Imagine a leader operating from that space. Their decisions might be clearer, more grounded, less swayed by external pressures or the need to constantly outperform.
Less reactive to, market whims or public opinion.
Potentially, yes. More rooted in their own internal compass, their own sense of what's true.
Okay, so this internal arrival, this truthful silence, it sets the stage for a bigger paradox Ting explores next. It's about navigating a world obsessed with doing, when what people really crave is being.
The achievement paradox.
Right. He presents it almost like a quotient. One of those Zen riddles meant to provoke thought. He says, we live in systems obsessed with achievement. We are praised for what we complete, deliver, outperform.
That's just the reality, isn't it? We're wired for it,
Yeah.
measured by it.
Totally. From day one.
But then comes the counterpoint. But at the deepest level of leadership, people do not long for perfection. They long for presence.
Presence, not perfection. That's powerful.
And then he asks this Kosohan, what remains when nothing is left to achieve? That question just hangs there, doesn't it?
It really does.
It makes you wonder, if achievement gets us the promotions, the praise, why does it often feel hollow? Why do we see so many successful people feeling burnt out, disconnected, even when they've made it by every external measure?
It's a critical question. Why, despite all this societal programming towards achievement, is there this deeper human longing for something intangible, like presence?
Yeah. Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, LóngTíng suggests it reflects a fundamental human need for authenticity, for connection, especially, he says, during times of uncertainty and fragmentation.
Which feels very relevant right now.
Extremely. When the world feels chaotic, unpredictable, when the old rules don't seem to apply, people don't just want a leader who hits targets. They want someone who is truly there.
Grounded, understanding.
Exactly. Someone who can hold that space. And that hollow feeling you mentioned, that's precisely what LóngTíng is pointing at. Our conditioning creates this powerful loop. Achieve, get praised, chase the next achievement.
Keep the hamster wheel spinning.
Right. But it often bypasses those deeper human needs for meaning, connection, psychological safety. Think about the manager who hits every financial target, but their team feels constantly stressed, unheard, disengaged.
The project succeeded, but the people suffered.
Exactly. And that kind of success isn't sustainable. It creates this pervasive sense of inadequacy, not just for the leaders, but for everyone in that system. People might hit the KPIs, but they're doing it out of obligation.
Not real commitment.
No. And that has knock-on effects. Higher turnover, less innovation because people are afraid to take risks, an erosion of trust that can take ages to rebuild.
You see it in the stats, right? Quiet quitting, burnout.
Absolutely. The data on burnout in these achievement-obsessed cultures is stark. It underlines this unfulfilled longing for leadership that offers more than just metrics, more than just function.
So we're definitely talking about a big tension here between what gets rewarded externally, the achievements, the bonuses, the promotions, and what's desired internally, both by leaders and the people they lead. This quality of presence.
A major tension.
How does it actually play out in modern leadership, in organizational culture? Because I feel like I see it everywhere. Leaders burning out, chasing numbers, teams feeling disconnected, even when projects are successful. That sense of emptiness, even when things look good on paper.
Precisely. It often manifests as this profound disconnect between the organizational goals and just basic human well-being.
Okay.
Modern organizational culture, in its relentless drive for measurable outcomes, can unintentionally foster a leadership style that's very transactional, often depersonalized.
Like the leader is just a function.
Exactly. Leaders might feel forced to prioritize efficiency, quantifiable results, over empathy, genuine connection, leading to what we might call functional leadership. The leader as a strategic cog in the machine rather than a guiding human presence.
And the hidden costs of that?
There's substantial. Increased burnout, definitely, for leaders and their teams. A decline in psychological safety. People don't feel safe to speak up or make mistakes. Disengagement.
And trust.
Trust erodes. massively, when leaders are just seen as taskmasters or strategists without that genuine human connection. And it impacts long-term sustainability, too. An organization driven only by external metrics might miss critical internal signals. Declining morale, a loss of purpose, things crucial for adapting, for resilience. If people long for presence and it's missing, that unfulfilled need leads to quiet quitting or just a lack of real commitment to the vision.
Right. People just go through the motions.
Now, of course, there are times when functional leadership is needed, right? Crisis management, maybe highly procedural tasks.
Sure, an emergency response.
Exactly. You need clear directives, swift action. But even then, a leader with presence communicates those decisions differently. With clarity, yes, but also with empathy, integrity.
So it's not just what they say, but how.
Precisely. They acknowledge the human impact, even of tough decisions. That transforms a directive into something understood, maybe even collectively owned, not just a top-down mandate. It fosters shared purpose, even under pressure. Hashtag deconstructing presence, what it is and isn't.
Which brings us right to the core. What does this presence actually look like in the real world? Lóng Tíng gives us some great descriptions. He talks about a leader who shows up not as a function, but as a human being.
Not just a role.
And for organizations, too. He says an organization that does not hide behind metrics, but allows its soul to be visible in the way it acts and listens. That idea of an organization having a visible soul is really striking. It's way beyond just a mission statement.
It really is. It pushes us past that conventional, sometimes mechanistic view of organizations. Showing up as a human being in leadership. It means embodying vulnerability, authenticity, real connection.
Not just fulfilling the job description.
No, moving beyond just the tasks, the checkboxes on the performance review. It's about bringing your whole self, your values, your empathy, your capacity for genuine relationship.
And for the organization's soul to be visible?
That happens through its actions, especially its ethical behavior, how responsive it is, how well it actively listens. It's not about the glossy annual report or the perfectly crafted mission statement on the wall.
It's the lived experience.
Exactly. The lived experience of its values. Think about how employees, customers, perceive an organization. They often talk about its vibe, its character. That's essentially its soul made manifest in day-to-day operations and interactions.
So an organization with soul doesn't just talk about values.
It lives them, even when it's hard, even when it's costly.
How does this really differentiate true leadership from just, management or operational execution? Because a lot of people might equate good management with good leadership, but this sounds like a deeper layer.
It is a deeper layer, and the distinction is crucial, though often blurred.
Right.
Management often focuses on efficiency, process, hitting specific, measurable outcomes, optimizing systems, deploying resources, ensuring tasks get done right and on time.
Keeping the trains running.
Exactly. Leadership, as Lóng Tíng frames it here, transcends that. It's about inspiring, influencing, fostering a shared sense of purpose and direction, and crucially rooted in human connection.
Okay. And the implications of leading from that place of humanness versus just functionality.
They're profound. When you lead from humanness, you build trust more deeply. You cultivate genuine loyalty. You inspire that discretionary effort, the extra mile people willingly go because they feel seen, valued, connected to something bigger.
Not just because it's in their job description.
Precisely. So decision-making becomes more humane. It considers the impact on people, not just efficiency. Communication becomes more authentic, less performative. The whole culture can shift from mere compliance to real commitment.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about the difference between a leader who interacts with employees because it's policy, like a quarterly review checkbox.
Yeah. Checking the box.
Versus one who engages out of genuine curiosity about their well-being, their challenges, their hopes, building a real connection. The first is functional, the second is deeply human, and it carries presence. It's about cultivating a relationship, not just managing a resource.
And building on that authenticity, Lóng Tíng makes it really clear. Presence cannot be quantified, but it can be felt. That's huge in a world obsessed with measurement.
Good boy.
And then he gives these incredibly concrete examples that really bring it home. You feel it, he says, when a company apologizes sincerely instead of publishing a polished statement.
We've all seen those polished statements.
Oh, yeah. You also feel it when a CEO takes time to walk through the shop floor, not to be seen, but to genuinely listen.
The intent matters.
And finally, you feel it when a decision is made not because that's where the market is going, but because it is the right thing to do. Let's dig into these because they perfectly illustrate this felt presence.
Absolutely. These examples are powerful because they highlight the integrity and, crucially, the intent behind the actions. That's what transmits presence.
Okay, take the first one, the sincere apology versus the polished statement.
Right. We've all encountered those corporate apologies that just ring hollow, crafted by legal or PR, full of jargon like, "We regret any inconvenience caused."
Minimizing liability.
Exactly. Devoid of real remorse or understanding. A sincere apology, though, it acknowledges the harm directly, takes responsibility without excuses, commits to fixing things or learning.
Uses human language.
Yes. Expresses empathy. Feels authentic. The impact is night and day. One breeds cynicism, erodes trust further. The other begins the hard work of rebuilding it.
It's that difference between a carefully worded statement and something that conveys genuine remorse, acknowledging the impact on real people.
And that's why it's so rare from big organizations, isn't it? There are often systemic barriers to that kind of vulnerability, legal fears, fear of admitting fault. But when it happens, the presence is undeniable.
It really is. It's the feeling it leaves you with, not just the words. And that second example, like the CEO walking the floor, not to be seen, but to genuinely listen, that really highlights the intent again.
Crucial distinction.
It's so easy for leaders to do performative things, right? Check the employee engagement box, look approachable for the cameras.
The management by walking around theater.
Exactly. But the key here is the intent. Is it a PR exercise or genuine listening? I remember seeing a senior leader once, not just listening, but actually bending down to help someone with a minor issue on the factory floor. It wasn't about the task itself.
Yeah.
It was that willingness to be truly present, collaborate in that moment. That small act spoke volumes more than any email ever could.
Those are the moments where presence isn't just felt, it's imprinted. A CEO walking the floor to be seen might smile, offer superficial greetings, then retreat. The message employees often get is, they're doing their duty but don't really care, or it's just for show.
Yeah, performative.
But a CEO walking the floor to genuinely listen approaches with curiosity, asks open-ended questions that invite real answers, listens actively, without interrupting, shows real interest in the challenges, ideas, experiences of people on the front lines, maybe takes notes, follows up, right? Or even shares their own struggles, fostering that sense of shared humanity. It's not about being visible. It's about being present and receptive. The presence is felt in the quality of the attention given, the connection forged. That subtle difference in intent changes everything.
And the third one, making a decision, not because that's where the market is going, but because it is the right thing to do. This points to a deeper ethical compass, surely.
Absolutely. This is about ethical leadership, aligning decisions with core values, not just external pressures or fleeting trends.
Even if it's risky or goes against the grain.
Especially then. In a world where market pressures often dictate strategy, making a decision because it's the right thing to do shows moral courage, a deep commitment to principles.
Like prioritizing sustainability over short-term profit, or ethical sourcing even if it costs more.
Exactly. Or standing by employees during tough financial times. These decisions, while maybe counterintuitive to conventional business thinking, or even painful in the short term, resonate deeply. Why? Because they demonstrate integrity, a clear sense of purpose.
It shows you're grounded in something beyond just the market.
Right. It's an act of moral clarity that generates palpable presence. People see a leader or an organization acting from conviction, not just convenience.
Okay, so why do these specific examples resonate so strongly? It seems clear it's the integrity, the authenticity, the human connection that makes presence felt, even if you can't stick a number on it.
That's the core of it.
So how can you, our listener, apply these distinctions? When you're observing leadership in your own workplace, public figures, even your own interactions, what should you be looking for?
That's a great practical question. I'd say look for the why behind the what.
The intent again.
Yes. Is the action driven by a genuine internal compass, or is it a calculated move for external appearances? Look for consistency. Do stated values match actual behavior?
Does the walk match the talk?
Precisely. Do they genuinely listen or just wait to speak or gather info to confirm their biases? Are their actions rooted in understanding human needs, or are they purely transactional?
And why does this matter so much? How does it build trust?
Well, these acts of presence build trust and loyalty in a way that achievement-focused actions alone just can't. It's not only about transparency, it's that consistent alignment of values and behavior. When a leader acts with presence, They're demonstrating integrity.
Showing, not just telling.
Right. And that demonstration over time creates this deep well of psychological safety, belief in their intentions. That's the bedrock of lasting trust.
And for the organization as a whole.
An organization that consistently shows presence through sincere apologies, real listening, ethical choices, cultivates incredibly loyal employees and customers. This means greater resilience in crises, more innovation, because people feel safe to try things.
A stronger reputation.
Definitely. The long-term benefits are huge. Better retention, stronger relationships, a more robust, adaptable culture. Presence isn't just a soft skill. It's foundational for sustainable success and real impact. It creates a climate where people want to give their best, not just where they have to. ## presence as the groundwork for strategy and legacy.
Okay, this understanding of presence then leads us to a really powerful statement from Lóng Tíng, one that might challenge a lot of conventional thinking about strategy.
The big one.
He says, presence is not a strategy. It is the ground from which all strategy becomes possible. Now, in a business world obsessed with strategic plans, frameworks, competitive advantage, what does that actually mean? How can something so intangible be the ground for something as concrete as strategy? It sounds almost backwards.
It is profound because it completely flips our usual understanding. We tend to think of strategy as this, top-down, rational, analytical process, a blueprint for the future.
Like the 5-year plan.
Exactly. But Lóng Tíng is suggesting that without presence, strategy lacks a vital foundation. It's like trying to build a skyscraper on shifting sand.
Okay, how?
Well, presence, by fostering clarity, genuine understanding, deep listening, creates the fertile ground for effective strategy to emerge. If we connect this to the bigger picture, without presence, strategy can become detached from reality.
Just an intellectual exercise.
Pretty much. It might be based on assumptions that haven't been truly tested, miss critical insights from the front lines, or fail to account for the crucial human element needed to actually implement the strategy successfully.
So leaders need to be present to even develop good strategy.
Yes. Leaders who are truly present are deeply attuned to their organization's internal state, the culture, morale, hidden anxieties, and the external environment. Those nuanced market signals, unarticulated customer needs. Without that attunement, strategy becomes divorced from the living reality it's supposed to shape. It can lead to brilliant-sounding plans that just fall flat.
Because they lack that essential human insight or missed critical signals.
Exactly. From the market or even from their own people.
So how does a lack of presence actually undermine even, say, a technically brilliant strategic plan? I can picture a leadership team, super smart, loads of resources. They create this flawless strategy document, beautiful charts, but it just doesn't connect with employees, with customers. Feels theoretical.
That's a perfect illustration. A lack of presence can torpedo brilliant plans in so many ways. First, leaders might fatally misread stakeholder needs.
Ow.
They might develop products based only on aggregate data, without genuinely listening to customer feedback, doing empathetic research, understanding the nuances data alone can't capture. You build something nobody really wants, despite the analysis. Second, they might fail to inspire commitment internally. A strategy announced from a place of disconnection won't ignite passion or mobilize that collective effort needed. People might execute the plan out of obligation.
Or fear.
Or just to keep their jobs. But not with real conviction. It's the difference between a team that has to perform and one that wants to.
Huge difference in outcome.
Massive. And thirdly, a lack of presence kills adaptability. In today's volatile world, strategy can't be static. Leaders need to be fully responsive to current reality, sense shifts, see patterns, adapt plans in real time, not rigidly stick to outdated blueprints.
Presence enables better decisions now.
Yes. It allows leaders to be fully attuned to the present moment's nuances, perceive emerging patterns, respond with agility and wisdom, rather than just reacting based on old ideas or past wins.
So imagine a leadership team making strategic decisions in a place of deep presence. How would that look different?
While the process itself might differ, maybe more time for collective reflection, genuine dialogue with diverse stakeholders, not just senior management, a real willingness to challenge old assumptions, prioritizing ethical and human factors alongside the financial ones.
And the strategies themselves.
They'd likely be more robust, more resilient, more aligned with the organization's deeper purpose, fostering not just external success, but internal coherence and real commitment.
This completely reframes everything, including how we think about legacy. Lóng Tíng shifts us from achievement to embodiment here, too.
Yes, another radical shift.
He says, in the context of the Global Leadership Study Companion, Presence is legacy. Because legacy is not what we leave behind, but what we embody moment to moment. That's a fundamental departure from the traditional view, isn't it? Legacy as something grand left for posterity.
It truly is. This view shifts legacy entirely. From future outcomes, what you build, achieve, physically leave behind, to a continuous state of being and acting in the present.
Moment to moment.
Moment to moment, which raises an important question. How does this continuous moment-to-moment embodiment change how we think about daily leadership actions and interactions?
Because traditionally, legacy is the big stuff, right? The buildings, the books, the inventions, the fortune, the institutions founded after a long career.
Exactly. It's often seen as that retrospective judgment of a life's external accomplishment, something you leave behind when you're gone.
But Lóng Tíng is challenging that.
Deeply. He's suggesting legacy's about the impact of your way of being on others. In every single interaction, it's about the quality of your presence in each moment.
So legacy isn't something you create then leave behind.
It's something you are and do.
Yeah.
Continuously, actively, in every breath, every decision, every conversation, every email, every subtle nonverbal cue, when it's imbued with presence, becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of your legacy.
Wow, so you're weaving your legacy thread by thread every day.
That's the idea, in a continuous tapestry of your daily life.
So it's less about the monumental achievements and more about the ripple effect of your presence every day, every interaction. That reframes it entirely. You're building your legacy right now in this moment just by how present you are. Less a grand monument, more the atmosphere you create, the impact on individual lives moment by moment.
Exactly. Think about leaders remembered more for who they were and how they led than for any single achievement.
Like Nelson Mandela, remembered not just for ending apartheid, but his integrity, his reconciliation work.
Precisely. Or maybe someone like, say, Fred Rogers, celebrated not for huge policy changes, but for his profound empathy, his ability to connect with kids on such a human level. Their legacy is the felt experience of their presence.
Their integrity, empathy, courage.
Yes. How they inspired loyalty, growth in others. These aren't quantifiable things. They're qualities of being. Their impact wasn't just in strategic decisions, but in how they made people feel, how they navigated crises with grace, with a clear moral compass.
And that kind of legacy is built in the small moments, too.
As much as in the grand ones. The genuine conversation, the thoughtful pause, the decision made with integrity under pressure, it's the cumulative effect of consistently showing up fully, authentically, humanely.
Creating a lasting qualitative impact, not just quantitative outputs. A resonance.
Exactly. A resonance in the hearts and minds of those you interact with. #tag cultivating presence, a practical path.
Okay, this all sounds wonderful, inspiring, but how do we actually do it? How do we cultivate this, well, somewhat elusive quality of presence? It seems so impactful.
Right, the how.
Lóng Tíng offers a practical invitation, a way to start cultivating presence that seems almost deceptively simple.
Deceptively simple is a good way to put it.
He guides us to set aside all strategic thinking for a moment and simply notice. Where are you right now? Not only physically, but internally.
Just notice.
It sounds so fundamental, almost childlike. But I imagine it's incredibly challenging for most of us, always racing ahead, planning the next thing, or stuck ruminating on the past.
It is profound in its simplicity. And yes, incredibly challenging because it asks us to interrupt deeply ingrained mental habits.
Habits of minds.
He asks, are you already running into the future? Or are you here breathing, sensing, listening? This internal check-in, he suggests, is the crucial starting point. Especially for leaders.
Why especially for leaders?
Because leadership in the storm, in uncertainty, demands groundedness. If a leader is constantly running into the future, preoccupied with what's next, what might go wrong, tomorrow's targets, they're fundamentally disconnected from now.
Their attention is fragmented?
Exactly. Decisions become reactive, not responsive. This constant future focus hinders effective leadership right here, right now. You might miss crucial signals from your team, the market, misinterpret dynamics, fail to respond appropriately because your mind is already gone.
Like trying to run a marathon while checking your phone constantly.
Ah, yes, good analogy. You might finish, but you missed the whole experience and probably tripped a few times.
Yeah.
And Lóng Tíng has this insight. Future leadership will not grow out of new tools or frameworks. It will grow out of those who have the courage to stay present, even in the storm.
Courage to stay present.
It's not about ignoring the storm, ignoring challenges. It's about facing them with grounded awareness, clear eyes, open heart, not being swept away by fear or urgency. It takes courage to pause, feel the discomfort, and truly engage with the present, however messy it is.
So it's not about avoiding the storm, but being truly present in it. Okay, what might be a first step? For you, our listener, to begin this internal check-in practice, how can this simple act of noticing actually transform your daily leadership, even in small ways?
Well, the first step is just intentionality
Yeah.
and consistency. Maybe set a small, recurring reminder twice a day, start of a key meeting.
Just to pause.
Literally pause and ask, where am I right now, internally? And crucially, no judgment, no self-criticism, just observation.
Notice if the mind is drafting emails, rehearsing talks.
Worrying about the future, replaying the past.
Yeah.
Then, gently, consciously, bring your attention back to your breath, sensations in your body, sounds around you, the person right in front of you.
And how does that help?
This simple act pulls you out of autopilot into conscious awareness. Over time, it can lead to greater clarity in decisions. You see situations more accurately. Less reactivity, you gain that space between stimulus and response.
More capacity to actually listen.
Exactly. To connect with others, because your full attention is actually available. It helps leaders respond thoughtfully, not just react reflexively. Fosters a more grounded, effective presence. It's like recalibrating your internal compass to true north. Helps you navigate complexity with more wisdom, less internal chaos.
And as a final, really concrete practice to close out this mini-series, LóngTíng offers something that sounds, again, simple, but potentially quite profound, especially in our meeting-dominated cultures.
Yes, the silence practice.
He suggests, at the beginning of your next leadership meeting, before anything is said, pause for 1 minute of silence.
What's the specific intention here? Because I can imagine people thinking, oh, it's just being polite or maybe grounding the conversation.
He's very clear. It's not just about politeness, not just generic grounding. The intention is much deeper. It's a radical shift in perspective encouraged by the silence.
Okay.
He says the purpose is, but to honor the moment. This is the moment your legacy is being shaped. Not later, not after implementation, right now. Wow. So the silence is an active acknowledgement of the present moment's power in shaping your legacy.
Exactly. Think about typical meetings. We rush in, jump to the agenda, problem solve, complete tasks, often arriving mentally scattered from whatever came before.
Still thinking about the last meeting.
Right. This minute of silence forces a collective pause, a moment to fully arrive, to acknowledge the significance of this interaction right now. It reframes the meeting not just as info exchange or decision-making,
but as a place where legacy is being forged.
Yes, moment by moment. It demands everyone in the room fully inhabit the present. Recognize that their choices, their interactions, the quality of their attention in that moment contributes to their long-term impact. It's a powerful statement. This moment matters profoundly.
That is a truly powerful way to frame a meeting. Completely shifts the emphasis. But wow, it sounds like it takes real courage for a leader to actually introduce and sustain that practice, especially if the team finds it awkward or weird at first.
Immense courage, especially in cultures that prize speed above all else. The initial reaction might be awkwardness, even resistance. It disrupts ingrained habits.
So how would a leader handle that?
They need to explain the why, gently but firmly, model the practice themselves, maybe explicitly state the purpose, not as some spiritual thing, but as a pragmatic act to foster presence, clarity, intentionality, which ultimately improves interaction and decisions.
And the potential impact, if a team actually did this regularly.
Imagine the initial awkwardness slowly giving way to a deeper focus, a quieting of internal chatter, heightened awareness among everyone. This silence could allow for more thoughtful contributions, more empathetic listening, because people are actually hearing each other.
Decisions made from a place of greater clarity, collective wisdom.
Potentially, yes. It reframes the meeting's purpose from just task completion to a space where presence and legacy are actively cultivated. It invites deeper involvement, deeper responsibility from everyone, fundamentally shifting the energy and hopefully the outcome.
Moving beyond just reactivity.
To grounded responsiveness. This seemingly small act could ripple out, transforming the whole meeting culture into something with deeper purpose, more meaningful engagement. Hashtag tag outro.
What an incredible deep dive. Exploring LóngTíng's insights, this profound importance of presence. Not just a nice idea, but the actual foundation of inner leadership, of true legacy.
It really shifts things.
Moving beyond that relentless chase for achievement to embodying leadership moment by moment. Realizing our lasting impact isn't just what we leave behind, but who we are, how we show up right now. It really makes you rethink every interaction, every decision, doesn't it? Every single moment.
Absolutely. And it is a continuous journey, isn't it? Cultivating presence. It starts with that simple yet profound act of noticing.
Yeah.
LóngTíng leaves us with this beautiful closing thought, really an invitation. May your leadership in your organization not run toward the horizon, but grow roots in the present so that the future can recognize itself in your actions.
Grow roots in the present. I like that.
It's not about abandoning ambition. It's about rooting it deeply in the rich soil of now. Ensuring our future goals are built on a foundation of authentic being. It emphasizes that the most profound legacy is woven right into the fabric of our daily lives, our interactions.
So as you go about your day, maybe your next leadership interaction, your next meeting, here's a provocative thought to carry with you. What one small, tangible step could you take, maybe just in the next 24 hours, to cultivate a bit more presence, remembering that your legacy is being shaped right now?
One small step.
And then maybe zoom out. What might happen if you and your colleagues, your whole team, collectively committed to cultivating presence? How might that fundamentally redefine not just success, but well-being, trust, genuine fulfillment within your entire organization for years to come?
That's a powerful question to sit with.
Definitely something worth pondering. Thanks for diving deep with us today.